Here we go with the first fight, Northern Wolves against Mamanci.
Hello everybody, this is Slavoj from Team Mamanci. I'm joined by Danny George. He kindly accepted my request to join me in this podcast that I wanted to do for quite some time, and I was thinking about what we could do with the podcast, and I thought that Danny would be ideal co-host because he has experience with fighting 5v5 obviously, and outtrends and marshalling, so I cannot imagine a better co-host to join me in analyzing fights, answering your questions in Q&A and other topics, whatever we feel like we want to discuss. So Danny, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. So I'm Danny George. I'm the captain of the Northern Wolves. So first and foremost, I'm a fighter. I'm a Buhurt International senior international marshal, and marshaled at the World Cup as one of the night marshals there alongside the other staff. I'm also a member of the Buhurt International Board. So obviously have a unique insight to a lot of kind of what goes on behind the scenes, and how Buhurt International is run. But first and foremost, I'm a fight fan. I love this sport. I love everything Buhurt, Outtrans, duels. So yeah, I was more than happy to accept your request to do a podcast where we talk about fights.
Great, really happy to have you. So before we get to the analyzing of the fights, uh, I wanted to request the potential audience to give us some questions we could answer in Q&A in the next podcast, in the next episode. And just let me see if I have anything else I wanted to ask. Maybe I will edit this out. Maybe not. Depends how lazy I am. Okay, so uh, before we go to the analysis, what we want to do with this podcast is mainly fight analysis, like whatever tournaments happen at the time, or if there are no tournaments happening, as it is now in off season, you'll go to previous big tournaments and analyze fights that catch our eye. For today, we chose BIWC World Championship in Hungary, and I guess whoever is bitten by the bug of this sport watches some tape, and usually people watch the, I don't know, White Company versus Nyash USA, or whatever the big fights are in the finale. But I wanted to give a spotlight to lesser, or the teams that didn't quite get to the finale, but still give really good fights and effort, and we can learn from those fights in terms of technique, in tactics, or whatever position you are interested in. You can take something from there. So let's get to it then.
Yep.
Hey guys, Slavoj from the future here. Just a quick apology. I messed up when recording this segment. I wanted to have backup audio source so that if one of them fails, I still have the audio and I can work with that. What I fucked up was that the audio sources are not completely synced. So there was a little bit of an echo, and I tried to do my best as an audio engineer to to fix it and remove the echo. I somewhat managed that, but it's still audible there, so I hope it doesn't destroy your ears and you still listen to it. Danny's audio is all right, no issue there, so at least listen it for Danny. I'm sorry again, it's not gonna happen next time, and I hope you stick with us. Thank you, and once again, sorry. So for the first fight, I prepared Netherlands versus Italy. Don't mind the overlay here, it's wrong. And I have a draw pen. Fancy. Okay, so just gonna pull my notes up.
And so guys are getting ready to fight. Greetings, yeah. Okay. So we start with the classic line that meets basically in the middle.
So what's interesting is both sides of Italy have somebody on the rail that's using either an axe or a falchion, and then the number 2 man on either side, if you look, are using axes or pole arms, whereas their opponents are all shorter range weapons. And where it really makes a difference in this initial exchange closest to us, you'll see an immediate disarm from the axeman straight against the rail fighter. He disarms him with, I think it's the first strike.
Yeah, that's the first strike. It happens right here. I'm gonna roll back for it.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. So
right
immediately the strike comes in. Yeah, and he disarms that fighter. That fighter's now panic stations. I've got to run and get a spare weapon.
Yeah. And they can push all the way up here before he gets another weapon.
That's exactly it. It's created an overlap straight away. So it's turned the tide of the fight from that initial exchange. And you can see now how broken the line is.
Yeah. One note to that. If you push too far, as they did here, you don't watch the runner of the opposing team, and he stays around here where the Dutch fighter was standing, you are exposing your back to a charge, as he did here. But the Italian fighter is doing a really good job watching him. And the Italian runner, he can either choose to respond straight away and block him so he doesn't even get there, or hope that he gets tied up a little bit and he can get a head rape or charge himself on the runner there.
Yeah, I mean, the other option that the Italian centre has here is if he sees that contact is kind of watched closely, so his teammate is safe, he sees the fighter coming in, he could have gone to the opposing corner to take advantage of a kind of a blindside or an overlap on the 2 Dutch fighters that are on the far side of the list. That didn't happen here. Yeah. Obviously, he followed him in to make sure that threat didn't mean that there was a 3-on-2 here. But from that initial opening, it was the strike engaged, there was a disarm, we've already had that kind of break in the line, and the fight's now drawn out a little bit.
And, the Italian fighter could have circled out to the back here, make the Dutch feel like he's safe against this charge because he's following the runner, and then charge him from the back. But that's, general after the battle.
Yeah.
But now it basically devolved on this side to 1v1s, and the Italian fighter's role is not let the two-hander from the Dutch center strike in the gap of Italian fighter, because sometimes if you hit good, it can be 1 shot, 1 kill. So his role is to occupy him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it going. Hey, he could have got it, but maybe the Italian wants him to do it. He trusts his ally's armor or skills to hold it.
Yeah.
Apparently he does, because he goes away.
Yeah,
and
left him.
He could have gotten the head rip, or he hoped to get it, but apparently maybe something here will be more interesting. But I would, if I would do it, I would really have to believe my mate to be able to withstand the damage.
Yes.
It's getting really, the striker gets a lot of time there.
Yeah, he gets a lot of free hits.
And again, you can see 2 lines forming. Here and here. And you can see Italian fighter is watching. This one is watching, but he's a little bit more tied up.
Yeah.
And this guy watches too. So they can either choose to keep wrestling, or as this guy, I think is thinking about, he he tries to get a target here that he can quickly charge and take down.
Break away.
If this breakaway, if this wrestling here is not fruitful. So 2 breakaways, again scouting for targets, and the Italian fighter is blocking here, so he's blocking the Dutch fighter, and the Dutch fighter is blocking the Italian fighter, so he doesn't go here. And the Dutch runner took over.
Yeah.
Keeps his head on a swivel so he doesn't get the charge, but you can really see the breakaways. Both teams are aiming for them.
Yeah.
And
so that
we
was,
got
that
one.
was a very good run, yeah.
And finally, we got one. Both teams, from the get-go, were trying to get one, and now we finally got one from the Dutch. So, let's roll back a little bit. Watch it again. Italian striker doesn't watch his back. He trusts his mates, and that's basic mistake from any striker.
Yeah.
We all do it. I'm a striker too. You get lost in the sauce a little bit. you just start striking. You finally got to it. Okay, let's go. I take this guy down. Bam.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on my ass. I don't know what happened. You have to do 1, 2, 3 hits and turn. What's happening? I'm free. Let's go.
Yeah. He got completely tunnel vision, and credit to the Dutch fighter, he realised he came from a long way, so he's ran it's not a short couple of steps to get in. He's ran near enough the entire width of the list, and managed to make that connection.
Yeah, and sometimes you get chances like this in a fight, and fighters manage to get into the position, manage to break away, and then their charge amounts to nothing because they don't finish the whole chain of events to the very end. And you can charge someone against the rail, and he just leans on the rail and he's good. So what this Dutch fighter does, he kind of puts his weight upon the Italian's shoulders and on his head, and gets the smooth landing
down,
under the rail.
Down into the list,
You can see him like hugging his head and dragging him down, so he cannot get his lean on the list and save himself. One more time. Really great job by the Dutch here.
Yeah, that was a great run.
And now for a little bit of a wrestlefest. This is a classic, not much to say about here. And again, we see Italians leaving the Dutch striker open. He doesn't go for striking though, but I don't know, it's a little bit risky.
The Italian in the bottom corner is doing a good job of kind of neutralizing that Dutch fighter behind him. But at this point, you've got a body and 2 people down.
I don't know if he went straight for suicide, or like if it was planned to do a suicide, or he just got pushed over the bodies. But at least he got one. But when you are 4 versus 3, the lesser team doesn't want to go to suicide ever, I guess.
No.
Because the advantage keeps mounting. If it's 4v3, you still have a chance. If it's 1v2, that's way harder to pull off.
Yeah,
and here we can see Dutch striker striking. Honestly, I wouldn't stay here as a striker, striking the guy that can see you. Especially when he has his weapon to protect himself and make like this kind of a shield. I would immediately rotate here and
try and hit the guy from behind.
Yeah, strike the gaps, or not like illegal gaps, but where it's soft and you can hit there legally.
Yeah. Again, the Italian's doing a good job of neutralizing one of the Dutch fighters by pinning him behind him in that and keeping himself safe.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah,
Don't
Sergio is a
want him
big
free.
guy.
And Dutch fighter
for the
gets the
push down.
takedown under the
There
rail,
we go.
and
That's the end of the round.
That's the end of the round. We can skip the second round, so we don't run out of time.
Yeah.
But it goes kind of similar way.
Yeah. Relatively evenly matched though in terms of skill.
Mm-hmm.
Just a good chance from the Dutch where the opportunities presented themselves and they were able to take them more than the Italians were.
What I wanted to highlight about that fight is everybody from both teams keeps watching and keeps looking for chances.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that unfortunate Italian striker, everybody keeps watching their back and keeps covering their mates. So it's also impressive that in those holes, the Dutch fighter was able to find that gap in Italian awareness and immediately capitalize on it, and the fight goes to the Dutch victory from there. Okay, so now we go for Denmark versus Ireland.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to say at first, even before we started the analysis, my goal is never to make fun of anyone, never to shit talk anyone, ridicule someone. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm just giving my honest opinion on what I see in front of me. I don't know if you are a new fighter, if you are tired as fuck because it was hot, incredibly hot in Hungary, and your medical condition could have been whatever. It's not my goal to ridicule you. So, in this fight, Denmark is the more experienced team, and they capitalize on Irish mistakes. And I want to highlight both the good job by Denmark and the Irish mistakes. But it doesn't mean I think Ireland is a bad team. That's not my goal to say.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're not doing this to, like we say, insult anyone. We're doing this just to review and see, one, we can all learn from watching other people's fights. And two, it's just interesting to see how things play out. And we've got the benefit of hindsight watching this 6 months after the fight. We all know it's very easy to get blinkered in the fight and you don't see really much what's going on. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's get on with it.
So there's one thing for me straight from the beginning. If we look at the far side Irish pair, they've got, again, short weapon, falchion and or axe, which are hand axe, and then they've got a two-handed axe. But that person using the two-handed axe is holding it in a right-handed striking stance, fighting on the right-hand side of the list. So that limits his actual options and usefulness of swinging that axe. On the right-hand side of the list, ideally, you want to be swinging from a left-handed grip, so you're swinging across yourself to hit both targets that are in front of you. But you'll see that axe isn't as effective, probably because of the way it's being held. You see it pretty quickly in this first engagement.
See it?
So you see he's holding it as a right-handed grip, right hand forward, which really means he hasn't got the dexterity to hit the rail fighter with that axe.
Yeah. Also, what I wanted to note at the start, the starting position of the Danish, they push their center all the way to the side closer to us, and it can work to basically like bait the Irish to run through, and then you get the opportunity to run through. It will not always work to like get the charge yourself, but you can first bait and then use it.
Yeah.
And here it evolved to,
I think there's an armor failure. Yeah.
And the Danish fighter immediately watches and capitalizes on the charge. What's impressive though, more than the charge itself, is that he has the morale and morale, that's probably not the best word for it, discipline to do the charge, didn't work out, immediately rotate out and reestablish his position, see what the other center was doing, and work from there.
Yeah.
Which is
the Marshals are coming in for an armor failure there at the top of the list.
Yeah.
I think.
And even if there wasn't an armor failure, this wasn't the best choice by the Irish fighter, because he knew he has a guy right behind him.
Yeah.
He had two guys, but one guy is enough to know about. And he kept yanking on the head rip, and he obviously wasn't going to get it, because at some point you just know, okay, this guy will not bulge. I have to take care of the guy behind me. And he kept yanking on it. And it's basically the opposite of what the Danish center did before that I was talking about. We got the takedown here.
Yep, takedown at the bottom.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk about this takedown too. So that's another big mistake by the Irish. This striker here, he again got lost in the striking cells. He just wanted to strike, and left his body to be surrounded from two sides and get taken down. Yeah. Striking doesn't work, and he sees it doesn't work. He doesn't have the power or the ability to take that fighter down by the strikes. And instead of like, okay, this doesn't work, I should charge in, push the head up of my mate up, and save him. That's what he should have done, because it's always, even if the strikes were effective and it was working, in my opinion, it's always more important to save your body than try and get the takedown.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing to note from this position as well is the Danish fighters worked really, really well together. The fighter on the left actually had a leg hook. So the Irish, he had the Irish fighter's leg hooked whilst his teammate pulls the head. So the leg is staying here going this way and the head is being pulled this way. Ultimately, it just leads to the fighter being pulled down.
Yeah. Here I circled out where the leg trip will be, and the head goes here.
So it's good teamwork. One person's attacking low and taking the foot and the base away. The other person is attacking in the opposite direction high, and they just pull him to the ground.
Yeah. That's 1-on-1, 2 versus 1 cooperation, yeah. And they do... And now he's in trouble, but that's trouble of his own making, basically.
Yeah.
And you can see the Danes were drilling this technique on... Very good. Okay, here we go. They do the same thing on the far side.
Yep.
Absolutely the same technique. They are drilling this, training it.
Leg scoop and the head rip or the head pull sideways, depending on how the person is stood. Yeah.
Great job by them. Good job, Denmark. And Irish, we hope to see you again soon and even stronger.
Yeah.
Okay, so we skip second round here too and go to China versus Italy. And for this fight, I want to say China did a really good job in the first round. They absolutely handled Italy in a sense of both strength, technique, but also tactics. They just ripped them to pieces tactically. They had exposed backs, whatever. And Italy managed to put their heads together. Okay, this didn't work. What do we do? So
a very high line from Italy, taking half the list.
Yeah, half
China.
the list they pushed.
Yeah, most of China have kind of held back a little bit, which will kind of create that staggered overlap. So we'll see a little bit more of a staggered overlap.
And it's also pretty interesting tactic to keep your runner that way back. I guess he likes his charges, and he trusts his mates to be able to withstand the power play if they get charged by Italian center, and he can then pick his target as a reward. And here we already see Sergio said his name is.
Yeah.
He is kind of baiting them. He wants them to come at him.
Yeah.
And immediately he gives them the space. Okay, come at me, come at me. I don't care. Okay, step back, step back. And they create this line at their area. And this means they have faith in him that he can stand against two. So they release the what do you call this second position? We call it first, second, center.
Yeah, we call it the number 2.
Number 2 also. Okay, so the number 2 is able to get away and uses it to charge the center that picked his target.
Yep.
Goes all the way back. Now I can choose my target. Striker that doesn't watch. There
and
we
a
go.
really good head rip.
Yeah. And that all stemmed from the bait that Italians did at the start. So if we watch it again, Sergio pulls them in. Number 2 breaks away.
Yep.
And now he can choose the targets.
Yep.
He can either help Sergio and tie up this striker or this one. And he sees that he knows about him, he sees him, and this one doesn't. So it's really clever to say, okay, Sergio, you're a good guy, big guy, you can take it, and let's go for a quick power play. And gets it with pretty head rip to the side. Works really well.
And whilst that happened, there was another takedown. Unfortunately, it was a good 2-on-1 effort from the Italians, but one Italian did go down in the same maneuver. And now there's going to be a hump and bump attempt there at the top right. There.
Really
very, very well done. And I like that's just happened. They've realised they've got the numbers, and the Italian fighter's going to switch his single-handed weapon out for a heavier pole arm.
Oh, I actually missed that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He goes, okay, we've got numbers, and he goes to pick up a heavier pole arm. And then the takedown again in the 2-on-1 happens in the with a nice little rear foot sweep.
Excuse me. Right. So, the second round is kind of the same, so we can skip that too. I just wanted to highlight this really nice tactical movement by Italians. You see that was their plan, and they were really thinking about it. Or if not, that's even more impressive. But the way they adapted to the first round, really impressive. Hats off to that.
I think what's important about that number 2 runner making that line break as well is he runs through, and when he turns, he takes just half a second to scan the field and pick the target, rather than being kind of like a pinball where he's just running and then immediately sprinting. He's taken the time to turn, look, there, go, and then gets the head rip.
Yep. And we said that again with I think in the Dutch fight. It was all about them scanning the field all the time.
Yeah.
And if they were just running, it would maybe amount to something, but that attention is what actually got them the win for the Dutch and here too.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we go to the fight I was most looking forward to, and soon you will see why.
Mm-hmm.
So, Spain versus Italy.
Yeah.
Classic line. Italy stands back a little bit.
Yeah.
Center breaks through and is immediately followed by their center. And he would manage just if it was just the center. But that 1 second that the number 2 took to disbalance him secured takedown for the Spanish center.
Yeah.
It was just 1 second. Nothing too crazy, and that's what got them the takedown.
Yep. Good vision from the number 2 there from Spain to see the run and follow it.
Mm-hmm. And then you see him here again. Good job. Is it the number 2?
Yeah. So the number 2, he came across, kind of kicked, and then
I think that's the center.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And the center came back to cover his mate here because he sees a free striker here. And instead of striking or going for a head rip, he really focuses on not being in danger, him or his mate here, from the pole armor. So keeps watching him.
He's doing,
he doesn't
doing
need
a good job.
He doesn't need to tie him up.
No.
All he needs to do is neutralize him because they are in the power play, and the less you risk, the more you gain in this situation. I think it's the Italians that have to push the situation to even it up.
And that's good work again, because if someone's going to make a run, you want to be making sure you're getting to them. If they're going to strike your teammate, they get 1 or 2 free hits, that's it. Yep. And then you're on them. And that's exactly what he did there. And he's still keeping the Axeman busy, but he's not fully engaged in the grapple. They're not just tied up. He's doing enough to keep scanning the field and just keep his attention away from where the targets might be for him. There's a good 2-on-1 in that left, and he's keeping him out of it while the other 2 Spanish fighters try to get the Italian down.
Yep.
That was unlucky though. Yeah. that was a good reversal by the Italian.
That was a great takedown, and it's really good job by him to not try and get tied up on the rail, because in the open in the rail it's harder, in my opinion, to get takedown, because you can. It's double-edged sword. You can get easily taken down, or you can easily take someone down. But the Italian fighter needed to get the takedown, and the Spanish fighter needed to tie him up. So it would have been easier for the Spanish fighter if they were on the rail to do that job. So here he gets taken down, and the Spanish striker sees it and immediately blocks him, because that's a big pole arm and you don't want it anywhere near your mates.
And they've managed to get the Italian fighter in the corner down now at this point. Yeah. So we're still, 4-on-3, whereas we were 5-on-4. So they've still got the numbers advantage, Spain. That was a very, very nice inside Ouchi from Ouchi there.
He did it again. Not tying up on the rail. Maximizing his chances in the middle.
Yeah.
And
he does a very good job, the Italian halberdier, getting that collar tie and using his axe as kind of a crutch just to help him as he goes for the inside, the Ouchigari, the inside trip.
You did an instruction. Yeah, you can see the light going through here. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And he uses all of his forward momentum, and it was just enough for him to trip.
You can watch it in the slow motion, maybe.
So he recognizes that they're too close.
Mm-hmm.
So the Italian fighter gets that collar tie,
Mm-hmm.
and you see how he's angled. His hips are close to the Spanish fighter's center line. So as he steps in, and you'll see it there.
Traps
Boom.
it. Mm-hmm.
Trips it and uses his weight and that forward pressure to push him down. He let his axe go in the process because obviously it was tied up, but he gets the takedown and now he's immediately off to go and get a spare weapon and the numbers are even. That was a great use of just standard basic judo.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And it's also worth noting letting the axe go. It's something I need to learn to do because again the lizard brain. Oh, my axe!
Yeah.
I need my axe. And sometimes I get taken down or I don't get the takedowns because I'm too keen on holding that weapon for myself.
Yeah.
Sprinting back. And straight back to action. The Spanish fighter is watching him, but he let him do the one strike. He could have gotten there faster, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But again, it was hot, they were tired, you don't know what fights they had before, not shit talking them at all. But sometimes it's all you need, the one strike.
Yeah.
So you don't want to risk it if you don't necessarily have to.
So he's trying to use the body.
Mm-hmm.
The Italian fighter was aware of it there.
He's the one who made the dead body happen, so...
Yeah.
And again...
And this is where the fight's most dangerous for anybody in a clinch. When you're away from the list and you're in free space, you have to have your feet underneath you and you have to know where everything is. A good takedown there from a standard headlock over by the Spanish fighter. Yeah, but he's been sat down.
And it takes a lot of confidence, and sometimes you can throw people off, but by refusing to go on the rail, I want to keep it in the open.
Yeah.
He almost got it here again.
He did, yeah.
Good balance by the Spanish fighter. Okay, now he's probably tired. Okay, let's go to the rail. I had enough.
It was a good effort to use the bodies there in the corner. But it was probably just a little bit too close for them to get to. Like too close to the corner, so if he'd have pushed him and he did fall, he had something to fall against anyway.
Good try.
Yep. Good coverage.
Yeah. And the Spanish fighter is probably also tired as hell. So just going on the rail and covering your mate with a shield while taking the rest is all you need to do at some point. It doesn't really matter if you neutralize the opponent on the rail, in the middle, or just by covering your mate. You're doing your job either way. And we can fast forward a little bit. Go here, yeah. Italian try to lure him away.
Yeah.
Again, get the open field advantage because he's obviously very comfortable fighting in open field. But the time ran out for them. And it went to a draw, all thanks to this Italian striker. Really good job by him.
It's very good wrestling and clinch work.
It's always a team effort, but sometimes some people do more.
And I think the other thing you and I both know, that was a long round in that heat, in those conditions. That was horrible.
I have all the respect for both teams being active for all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's skip forward to the second round. And this one was spicy. Again, classic lines.
Disarm. So he swung and dropped his own weapon there.
Spanish capitalized. They push forward a little bit, but nothing too crazy like the Chinese did before.
No.
And it feels like Italians have the advantage here, like the power play, even though they don't. But it just feels like there is more of them on the field, and sometimes that's, or the best runners make you feel that way. Like they make you feel like you fight not against 5 people, but against 6 or 7, because they are everywhere. And sometimes they hit you once or twice, and you are thinking, okay, there is a guy behind me, I have to play defensive now. And he's not there anymore, but you still have it in your head.
Yeah.
And the Spanish striker, the Italian runner made a mistake a little bit by just letting him go. You don't want strikers free, either for striking or because you don't want opponents free. If you cannot, if you are not confident that you do the takedown faster than he can.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Italian fighter didn't, and the Spanish striker goes for a head rip. And this is where it gets interesting in this round. From what I see here, it's clean. It feels like he has it. His gauntlet is in the middle of his face, of the opponent's face. I just don't see how this could have been a foul, honestly. And this martial here, again, we are watching it 6 months afterwards from a tape. I don't want to shit talk any martial. I really appreciate anyone who takes their time and is not a fighter to give us their time of day, well, multiple days, to allow us to do this sport. I have nothing but respect for martials.
Yeah.
But if someone does a mistake like this, in my opinion, maybe you have different opinion, I kind of want to talk about it, because we all can get better when learning from these situations. So she's here. This guy is taking his opponent here. I don't see how she's able to tell that his weapon was under his helmet. I just don't. I don't think it works in this angle. But she thinks she saw it and takes him down. I don't know. I just think that was a bad call. Let's watch it again in slow motion.
Yeah, the challenge from this angle is that we can't see the angle of the pole arm coming across this side, so his opposite shoulder.
Yeah, but
if it could be on that angle like this, so we're seeing this hand.
Yes, but then you have 2 marshals watching it from like 1 meter away.
Yeah.
From the way up close, and they didn't signal any foul, and it was all that far marshal decision. Just watch these 2 marshals here. Yeah. They don't signal anything. He's watching it really up close, both of them. No signal to the head marshal there. And she still takes him down. I don't know. What do you think about that takedown?
From this angle, and again, I'm not going to second guess the decision in the moment. From this angle, it is hard to tell. The only thing I can think, again, going back to what I've just said, is that from where she was, she may have seen the angle of the haft underneath an element of the aventail. And that's the clarification is, when I'm doing a martial brief before a tournament, I will tell people what we would consider being under the helmet, illegal, and what's not. If there was an element of that haft crease in the aventail, so you've got your helmet and the chin plate, and it's underneath that, that's technically illegal because it's on the neck. I can't say for certain because I'm not looking at it from the other angle.
Sure.
But I'm not also going to second guess Lorelei because Lorelei is one of the best marshals that we've got as far as Buhurt International.
Absolutely.
So yeah, from this angle, it's hard to see what would be wrong with it. From where she was stood, looking back across the list, she may have seen that it was in a position where it could have been under the neck or under the aventail on this side, and that element of it would make the takedown illegal. So yeah, hard to say.
Okay. Sure. So both fighters seem a little bit confused, but the Italian says,
Yep.
okay, good for me. Straight to the
Yeah,
action.
for sure.
Italian gets takedown here, but another martial decision on
On the left-hand
the
side,
left,
yeah.
on the left here. Leans on him way too much. Maybe the Spanish fighter was holding him for a little bit longer than he should have, but that's whatever.
Yeah, but fair enough. I would agree with that in terms of the call. You're down.
Yeah, me too.
You've more than got that single point of contact. Stay down.
Yeah, I agree with that one too. And the Italians work on their power play. Get it done. We don't see him trapping the leg as the Danish did in the 2v1 there. So that probably would have made it faster. But again, generals after the battle.
Yeah.
He could have kicked his leg here. Probably would have helped too, but again, he looks tired. And
Tired. Yeah.
Honestly.
That was at that point, he looks very tired. That's what he should have done. That kick that he just did, he should have done previously. Yeah. Another good head rip, though. He's trying to break the posture forwards. Spanish fighter does a good job of spinning out. Goes away from the threat. He turns again. So he's trying not to leave his back exposed.
And again, we see Italians going for double hander here instead of single hander.
Yeah.
To capitalize on that power play.
And that's stop fight. One thing I will say especially is all credit to the Spanish fighter that was being sat down because of the fact that he got the martial instruction to sit down, and he did. He took a knee.
Yep.
The time for questioning that and appealing it, if you feel that appeal is warranted, is after the round.
Yep.
As a marshal, we have to make the call. We make the call. Sometimes it's right. Not most of the time it's right. Sometimes we are wrong. And fighting and arguing in the middle of the round, sit down, why? Sit down. The Spanish fighter did exactly what we would expect every fighter to do. If you're being told to sit down, please, you take the knee. Now is the right time to have the discussion.
And you were present here. We can see you here. Do you remember anything from this discussion?
So I'm actually behind the camera. So that's Diego, who's the secretary. Stephen, who's the head marshal, is in the list talking to Lorelei now. I was actually underneath this camera, watching from the other side. So during the fives, during the fives and during the 12s, my main role as one of the supervisory night marshals was to actually review those appeals.
Oh, okay.
So I'm there watching the general action. And if an appeal got lodged, it went to the secretary, like Diego there. That would then go to myself or Stephen, who's in the list talking to Lorelei. And then we would go away and look at our video and any other video, people might have. And we would decide on whether it was a granted appeal or whether the original call was correct. So, yeah, obviously, the Spanish fighter did exactly what we would ask all fighters to do. Sometimes in the middle of the fight, as a fighter, if you've been told to take a knee, you kind of question why. We want to carry on. But it was the right way that things were done. So I've got to give him full credit for that. He took a knee.
Me too. I'm guilty of that. I sometimes argue with marshals when I shouldn't. And I'm sorry about it. It's just all the adrenaline and feeling of injustice when you are 100% certain that you got it right. Sure. or maybe you didn't, but you feel like you did. It's hard to get through mentally to just, okay, afterwards.
It is. But I just wanted to highlight that he was told to take a knee, he took a knee, and he left the discussion until after the round had played out. He also did a very good job when he went for that head rip, because instead of running straight in, he actually took an angle to make sure he was out of sight of the fighter he was attacking. So yeah, really good job by him.
Yep. All the credit to him. And so do you by any chance remember the result of that appeal?
I don't think we got an appeal for this one.
Oh, okay.
But in terms of the time to file it is obviously after the round is done. That's when you go to your captain. Your captain makes a decision. I mean, I don't know whether you were aware, but you only had, I think each nation only had 5 appeals across the entire tournament.
No, I didn't know
and
that.
Yeah,
Nation,
so you
nation
had,
or team?
Nation.
Okay.
So you had 5. However, if it was successful, you kept it. So if you challenged something and won, you didn't lose it. If you challenged something and you lost it, and the appeal was not granted, it didn't go in your favour, you lost that. And that was a way of us to try and manage people just, I'm going to appeal that, I'm going to appeal that, I appeal that, egregiously. You've got to think about it, you've got to review it. Is it worth appealing? Is it not worth appealing? But, for all intents and purposes, we didn't have a massive amount of appeals across this entire championship. The decisions and the level of the decisions were actually very high.
You have all the appeals you want, but they have to be correct.
Exactly, yeah. So as long as you're winning the appeals, you've still got 5 appeals every time. If you're appealing just because, and then you lose the appeal, they start going down.
We know some teams that do that sometimes. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone.
No, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, if you're going to appeal, it's got to be, you've got to be under the right grounds, feel like you've got the right evidence, because you want to keep that appeal.
Yeah.
And you want the result to go in your favour.
Okay, so let's go to round 3. So just as a reminder, again, 2 lines. We have draw in the first, Italian win in the second.
Yeah. There's a little bit more standoff, a little bit more line striking and line fighting now, most likely because everybody's tired.
Yeah, tired, and they don't want to do the mistakes, especially. No. Okay, so we see the Spanish center get tired of inaction, and he just wants to do something. It's not a perfect charge, or perfect situation for a charge, but sometimes you just, we have to make something happen right now.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
I want to make something happen, and let the dominoes fall.
But in response, the Italian centers come across to the opposite side as well.
But he's watched by the Italian number 2, Spanish number 2, sorry. Gets one shot in, but doesn't amount to much. And
that was a
and
good head rip.
This is, I think, the same fighter that got set down here, doing the head rip again, and it's clean. So he got his satisfaction in the end. Good head rip, power play for Spanish, and instead of striking, he tries to help his mate by wrestling, and I understand it, especially if he's tired. I will stop it here because then I want to talk about this situation here with the Italian takedown. Sometimes when you are tired, you just want to wrestle, even though it seems like it's more tiring. But if you're a striker, you have big pole arm.
Yeah.
Like swinging it 5 times is no joke when you are fresh.
Yeah, it's hard work.
And after 2.5 rounds of this in this heat, I'm not surprised he goes for wrestling, honestly. Even though tactically it's probably not the best decision, but I can't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, from a halberdier striker's point of view, he had the ideal window to do some damage with that.
Yeah.
Open back, fighter doesn't know that you're there. You can pick your shots, you can aim for the hips, you can aim for the kidneys, and really put heavy shots in. And he goes to try and kind of trap a leg. And as soon as he does that, that Italian fighter knows that there's a second man there, so he's immediately in defensive mode, knowing he's got one in front and one behind.
Yeah.
But I don't blame him at this point. Right. He's probably very, very tired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so now we will see on the right side here.
Yeah.
Clear. Yeah. On the right side here, nice clean takedown by Italian. And then what happens is that the Spanish fighter rotates on the ground, and it results in the Italian fighter going down with him. And he rolls away after the takedown. So, like, I wasn't marshalling ever, but if I saw that as a marshal, I would say, hey dude, that Italian fighter was taken down because of the action by someone who is already on the ground. I would stood him up, to be honest, but let's see it and you tell me what you think. I will make it a little bit slower. So, clean takedown by the Italian, gets him out of balance.
Yeah.
Nice. Judo takedown.
Uses the underhook, yeah.
And he's here. He is in a good spot. He has his balance here. That's fine.
Yeah.
Now he's disbalanced, but that's still, the Spanish fighter is going down. Okay, that's cool. That's clear.
The momentum.
Yeah, that's fine. So he loses his balance and goes to lean on the rail. And there he is secure. Now he's good. I'm fine. But the Spanish keeps rolling away, and he basically takes the Italian's legs from under him. Not by lying there, but by rolling away. Here. If he just stood here, Italian would be fine, in my opinion. But now he starts rolling, and he takes him with him. So here, as a marshal, I would stand the Italian up. What do you think?
Depends how it looks full speed in terms of
okay. Let's
the
put
momentum.
it full speed. Switch it again.
Yeah. Let's just watch it just to follow on. So he goes down, touches with a knee, he stands up. So what I will say there is we've got two views from two separate marshals looking at this. We've got the marshal at the list, and if you watch, she's actually very well placed. She looks under the list to check what kind of contact we've got with the ground. And then you've also got the list marshal, or one of them, looking from the alternative angle. With the speed that happened, I would probably have called him down as well.
Okay.
If for example, he'd gone against the rail, saved himself, got onto a leg, so he's kind of supporting his own weight again on his feet, and then the Spanish fighter would have rolled and taken that standing leg out, I would consider that as like two separate motions. Looking at how quickly that happened from the momentum of the takedown, being off balance, he never actually had his feet underneath him stable before he falls back over.
I agree with you, but I think he was stable at this moment. At this moment, if you are leaning on the rail like this, and you have you are on your toes, you are stable. And he would have gotten it out of this position by stepping over the Spanish fighter. But immediately as he gets into this position, the Spanish fighter rolls away and takes the legs from under him.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm watching from my stream, from angle that I don't completely see because of the rail, and there is Marshall right next to that. So I'm just saying, from my opinion, what I see now. I'm not saying the Marshall did a bad job. No way. I'm not saying that.
And this is the interesting thing. Like I say, as we watch this, we've got a marshal that's at the list looks underneath to watch for the contact and how that movement unfolds, and then you've got a marshal that's in the list that's also looking there. He comes across, and obviously there's a moment where I think the list marshal says, yeah, should be down, at which point he goes down without much protest. In my opinion, watching it through at speed, I would be inclined to agree. But we're talking, you know what it's like when you're in the list.
Yeah.
It's minute actions and a little bit of momentum, and things can change like that. And while that was going on, we missed these two go down on the list, but they've gone down together.
All right.
So now we're in a situation where it's 3-on-2 in Spain's favour.
Yeah, and again, now it's even more beneficial for the spare Italian fighter to block the Spanish striker from this angle, because by just looking at him, by not tying up with him, just blocking him, because he cannot strike at all because he has his Spanish mate here. So that's all he needs to do. But the problem is that you are 2 versus 3, and you need to make stuff happen quickly.
Yeah.
So, like, if it was 5 versus 5, or at least 5 versus 4, that's enough by blocking the striker. But at this point, 2 versus 3, I will tie him up and try to, throw the dice, and hopefully I can take him down. But if I don't do that, we lose the round probably, because my mate will probably not take two at least with him, or win that situation.
Yeah. At this point, the free Spanish striker just needs to keep the spare Italian away and allow his two teammates to try and work well together. So they've managed to break his posture over, and they're trying, but he does a very good job of getting his head out and getting back up.
And that's our hero for the first round.
And he goes for the exact same inside trip again, but he couldn't keep his balance. And then, in the end, it's a pushover on a one-on-one and one left standing.
Yeah, when you are this tired, suicide, if you know your mate will keep standing, is a valid option. But I try to not do that if I absolutely don't have to in any situation. Like, for instance, we had a fight in a little bit of a mixed team at Way of Honor versus White Company, and we were 4 versus 2. And we were tired, and White Company guys were close together. They were covering each other. I couldn't do much striking because he had one of them had his buckler and kept blocking my shots. So I just said, okay, if I take that guy with me, we are 3 versus 1, and we won the round. So I just, as a plan, went to take him down with me, and we won the round. So that's where it is a valid option, but it can always backfire, because he can somehow keep standing, and then you lost your advantage.
To fall. Yeah, you wrap them up and you go to fall, and they kind of shrug you off, and you fall. You've lost the advantage. I mean, all of us have been in a position where we've been suicided in this sport, and someone's grabbed you and just pulled you with them. I had it happen to me at Way of Honor, not last year, the year before.
Dude, it happens to me every single tournament.
It's frustrating. It's really annoying.
I hate it wholeheartedly.
But it unfortunately, it isn't against the rules, because it isn't a rule that you can. And trust me, we've discussed this. How could you legislate for suicides? Yes, it's unsportsmanlike, but you can't write a rule, or we can't at the moment write a rule that would capture how you describe it, you interpret it, you apply it fairly. So it is just part and parcel of the sport as it stands. You've just got to try and do your best.
Yeah, I wouldn't implement any rules that are not protecting fighters, that are trying to make this sport a certain way, because let's leave it up to fighters to choose how they want to fight. But the rules should be there against getting fighters crippled.
Yeah, for sure.
So even though I hate it, and obviously I sometimes do it myself, I wouldn't ban it. I just get angry when I have this big pole arm and we are fighting some I don't want to be rude, but team that is not as confident in beating us.
Mm-hmm.
They go sometimes. Guy, you can see him talking with on the other side. Oh yeah, I will take down that guy with the pole arm, and he charges straight towards me, and grabs me by with his axe by the back, and goes to his back, and just takes me down with him in first 10 seconds. And it's so frustrating, but I understand it because you don't think you are gonna win that fight, and I have a big pole arm. I know how to strike with it. You don't want your mates hurting, so you just do that to prevent that, and you are fresher for the next round or next fight. So I understand the decision making. I just don't have fun with that.
Yeah, you and me both. I don't like it either. Yeah, there's me.
Ah, there
Just
you go.
coming in.
Okay.
There's me.
How am I supposed to tell? Honestly, how?
Yeah, that's me. That's Diego. You're the Spanish version of me.
I'm sorry for mistaking you, but let's be honest. I had no chance.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Us bald guys all look alike. I get it.
Well, same hair, same beard, same glasses. Come on, man. And getting D on your head wouldn't help either.
No, not at all, because we're both. Yeah.
Okay, let's skip that forward. How are you with the time? Is it working out for you?
Yeah, all good. Yeah. So this is an interesting one because the first round was a draw.
Yeah.
2-2. Then we had an Italy win. We've just had a Spain win.
Yeah.
So they're going to a fourth round, which we don't see too often. And it's been, whoever wins this wins the fight. It's been a long fight so far.
Yeah. And Laura is calling captains together.
So this will be a brief about the actual champions fight rule to make sure that they're aware of how a champion fight happens in a fourth round.
Could you tell us how it works properly? Because I'm not entirely sure even myself now.
So if we have a scenario in this round where it goes to just one-on-one, the champions fight rule comes into effect. So the fighters would be stopped. They would be brought into the center of the list, and they would be told to fight in the center of the list. Now, with the champions fight rule, it was brought in to encourage people to get away from just list hugging and grappling on the list and drawing things out. So under the premise of that rule, if you touch the list, you lose. So it encourages the fight in a one-on-one to happen in the center of the list to try and bring the fight to a conclusion. Because in scenarios like this with tournaments where you're looking to get groups, teams from groups into knockout rounds, you need to ensure that you have your winners. You can differentiate which teams have won. So this is what that more than likely will be. It'll be a brief on what the champions fight is. She's told the captains. The captains are now responsible for telling their team. If it goes to one-on-one, you'll get pulled into the center, and then obviously the fight will happen. Now, for 2026, there's been a clarification on when that happens. The rule's just been updated, so people go away and have a look. But it's the same premise. If it goes to a champions fight, you get brought to the center of the list, and you fight from the center of the list. You're not allowed to go back to the list.
Right.
You do, you lose.
We'll talk about rule changes later. So again, line up. Why did the Italian fighter go back there? Okay, he tries to get some space, the number 2 on the far side. But doesn't do much with that.
No.
And if I remember correctly, there was a situation I wanted to talk about also. here. This Italian striker will strike Spanish fighter here, and to me that looked a little bit like a illegal shot, but again, that's our angle here, and judges, marshals didn't stop him, so maybe it wasn't. But yeah, that didn't look good, because you cannot strike on the base of the neck,
Base of the skull.
yeah, base of the skull, and especially not horizontally, and that fit the build there for me. I don't know.
Yeah, so bottom third of the back of the helmet, and the base, obviously the base of the neck.
But marshals saw it as okay, so who am I to tell?
So there's a lot of 1v1s.
There is a good position for the Spanish fighter here.
Spanish fighter's got a very good position there, yeah.
You can just lean on him. He doesn't have to push the tempo, but of course he can. But just being in that position, getting cleaned on, is draining you crazily. Yeah. And if your straps are kind of like tight, they can choke you in that position.
Start choking you, yeah.
I'm thinking about putting my straps, and they both go down, unfortunately. But that's a good result in that position for the Italian fighter. Yeah. And obviously the Spanish fighter is angry about it, with himself more than anything. Yeah,
it was a good position for him to finish, but unfortunately they both go down.
And here we see Spanish fighter, is left alone by their pit stop, and pushes their weapons down into the field.
Yeah.
And Italian supports are like, "What you doing? What the hell?" And try to get the weapons from the ground, but they are in the list already, so they get told off by the marshal.
Yeah.
And I actually like about the Italian fighter uses that time to get some shots in, but no results. Could have been worse for the Spanish. But I will just pause it and ask you, what do you think about this taking down the weapons?
I think it's a perfectly legal technique. I mean, the rule's been in now 3 years with the tabletop, that you have to have the weapon. If you're picking the weapon up, it has to be flat on the tabletop, and obviously support person's hands need to be off. If your support are just going to leave the weapons on the tabletop, sweeping them in causes a little bit of a dilemma, especially if it's all the weapons that you had as spares. So it's a good tactic, and especially the way you did it, sweeping them into the list. If you'd have pushed them out, they could have just picked them back up, put them back on. So, yeah, it's good. I mean, obviously, putting the weapons on the tabletop is there to make sure it's safe. The weapon's on, the support are away. You know, weapons, axes, and people come flying in to grab those spare weapons. If you're going to leave them there, they are liable to be knocked off.
Right.
I think it's a good tactic. You know, that the rule is that if they're on there, they're in play. If they're swept onto the floor, they're out.
Yeah, I like it too. Let people be creative. You know. If it doesn't hurt anyone or threatens to injure someone, let people do it.
Yeah.
And I just realized I don't know this. Can you take weapons from opponents' pit stop?
No. So you're only allowed to take from either your weapon zone, from your belt if you're wearing one on your belt,
right?
Or you can take the spare belt weapon of your teammate,
but not from the pit stop of the opponent. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're you get disarmed, but your teammate has a belt weapon, you can take his belt weapon off your teammate and use that.
I read. I don't know if it's updated now or it was always there, but I think I read in the rules that you can take from your opponent's belt, and you have to return it afterwards.
You can take an opponent's pole arm. So if you were using your pole arm, I'm using a single-handed axe. I grab your pole arm, I hit your hand, and you let go. I can choose to drop my single-handed axe and use your pole arm for the rest of the round. But at the end of the round, I have to come and give it back to you.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks for clarifying. And Spanish tries to push the Italian on the
Went
corpses.
to push over the bodies there, yeah.
Stoppage for some reason, and yeah, that's end of the round and end of the fight.
So that's time, yeah.
Yeah, time. They still fight.
They're still fighting in this corner, yeah. That was a very evenly matched fight.
Yeah.
And
long.
They did really well, yeah, to keep it up for as long as it was.
And yeah, they don't go back to fighting. And do you know why was the win given to the Spain in the end?
It would have been on numbers. So, for example, that round ended at the time at 4 versus 4. The first round ended at a timeout at 2-2. But then when Spain won their round, I believe they won on numbers. I can't say for certain.
1-0.
But it would more than likely be on numbers on the score sheet. So standing versus grounded numbers of fighters at that point.
Okay. I wouldn't be able to tell. Okay, so yeah, okay, I started this stream for some reason. So let me just find the fight I wanted to show next. And that's Australia 2 versus UK 2 at 152.35. And this is just one move by Australians that I really liked. We already saw it before, but
yeah,
I wanted to highlight it because it's really well done here. Okay, sorry, loading. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Classic lines, meet in the middle, and Australians push on one side and UK pushes on the other.
Yep.
So nice chaos, centers tie up. Fighters exchange their positions. Both teams are really dynamic. Nice.
So Dan Cooper gets a great outside assaulto there on Rob. I think that's Rob Morris from the UK. So he's got that collar tie. He's got a good grip on his head. Dan is very tall as well, so he's got long leg reach. So he was able to take that long step, drive him over the foot, and then he's obviously ran to get a spare weapon.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to highlight. This takedown is really nice, of course, but his decision to do the takedown and immediately bolt for this two-hander is fun.
Yep.
Doesn't even look anywhere. Can I get a head rip? No, I don't care. I want to hit people.
Yep. And Dan hits hard with a pole arm.
Yeah, those are good swings.
I've been on the receiving end of them quite a few times, and he hits very, very hard and accurately as well. But whilst that's been going on, another 2 takedowns by the Australians on the left.
Yeah.
So a good hump and bump attempt. I think that's Colin, gets that. Manages to regain his feet just with the pressure from the shield, which is allowed. Another great hump and bump there, completely clean. And then I think that's a UK and an Australian fighter go down the end of the round. So
yeah, I just thought the sprint from Daniel Cooper was hilarious, but really good decision also. Okay, so that was just a quick one after the long Italian-Spanish fight, and then we go to Mexico versus Baltic States, and here I want to applaud Mexican running, and it's because Mexicans don't go to many tournaments, unfortunately, because obviously, like, they are far away from everybody. Money is tight. So, but when we can see them, people split to two camps, kind of, I noticed. Some of them are like, yeah, Mexicans, good, funny, hello, let's be buddies, but nobody expects them to do much in the field, like they are there as like mascots, a little bit. And the other ones know that Mexicans don't, well, it's my podcast, I can say whatever. Mexicans don't give a fuck. They will go crazy. And they are crazy. They are crazy outside of the list and funny, but they are crazy and funny inside the list. And here we can see you are fighting. They are small guys. They are not tall at all, and they are fighting enormous guys from the Baltic states. It's like there's maybe even 20 centimeters of average height disparity there, and Mexicans take it by their heart and by their action and running and dynamics. I love it. It's a great fight from them. So a little bit of a peaceful start.
Yeah. Baltic States are slowly taking half-step ground on the right, so they're gaining a bit of list space.
Goes for disarm.
Oh, disarm. Good shot by the polearm fighter.
I'm getting similar polearm to that, but they don't do much with that advantage. But I just wanted to say I'm getting kind of the same polearm now ordered from Buhurt, because that's good for the starts of the fight. Just like quick swings against the hands, doesn't get you as disbalanced as a big axe.
Heavy one.
Yeah. And Mexican gets through.
Yeah, that's a good break.
Yeah, and again he takes his time, chooses his target, and he chose it well. That fighter didn't know about him. Unfortunately, didn't quite execute the charge, but it was a good decision. And he goes back here, gives to the Baltic polearm striker impression that he goes to the other side, but then tries to charge him again, baiting him to strike his body. But he's lucky to have turned around, but still gets a good pull and head rip, finishes it off. I don't think this was like disrespect or something like kicking him. It was just he was stuck with his armor there.
I think he was stuck with his armor in the leaf. So that's
And goes for a charge. And even though the Baltic guy knows about him, he still gets it done. And then remembers he also has a two-hander and goes to town on another guy. And funny thing happens here. The Baltic guy, he knows he's in the disadvantage. He needs to get something done. So he observes the field, sees, okay, who's not watching me? Where can I get a quick takedown to even the scores?
Yeah.
Chooses his target. Okay, not yet, sorry. And goes for him.
Oh!
some kind of Mexican black magic.
Yeah, because he was in the crosshairs from getting cross-checked.
Yeah.
And just somehow sidestepped at the last minute.
Yeah. And it even looks like intentionally he extends his leg there.
Yeah.
I don't know. And he's like, what the hell happened?
Good vision. Good vision by the Baltic States fighter making the run. I'd have probably gone cross-check, mid-back, upper shoulders, rather than jumping knee. But a very, very good round by the Mexicans.
Yeah,
very good.
That's really well done by Mexicans. Some good black magic. Okay, I think Baltic take it in the next two rounds, but it's a lesson. You never underestimate any team. Anyone can win at any point. Okay, so I think we had enough, so let's go for the last one. We are running hour and a half. so it's gonna be probably long enough. I hope people listen to it.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
they can tell us if this is too long and if you want it to be shorter or if you want more.
Okay, so here I wanted to highlight good work by Spanish, but also again, as we said just a moment ago, you cannot ever underestimate any team. And I'm not saying Czechs underestimated Spanish, but they got a little bit too confident and a little bit too wild with what they did. So I wanted to explain how Spanish managed to really utilize that overconfidence and take first round from the Czech Republic. And I don't know if they were everyone's favorite, but I don't think many people saw Spain winning this, especially when they have such a size disparity between those two teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, classic lineup, and the big Czech fighter here pushes the Spanish back, and then utilizes the pushback by the Spanish to head rip him down. So let's watch that. Pushes him back, Spanish wants to retaliate, and immediately gets taken down. So the Czech, he's strong as a bull. Like, that's the strongest guy I ever met, honestly, Dusan. And he didn't probably need the pushback from the Spanish fighter, but he still manages to use his brain enough to create that situation and not get as tired by just dragging the Spanish fighter down by any chance. And unfortunately,
you use the Spanish fighter's momentum, but then gets hit from behind.
And he takes this fighter down too, but trips over his leg. And here we have a great Czech striker coming to help his buddy in the corner. And that's where it gets bad for Czechs. So, Czech striker goes here. And big Czech guy wants to tie up this Spanish fighter on the rail, but he doesn't accept it. He breaks away. And again, we see the lizard brain of strikers. I have a target. My goal is now to take him down. And he forgets about everything else and doesn't look back. And he gets charged. But that charge, fortunately for him, gets neutralized again by the big Czech guy. So that's one cat life he lost. And here, another overconfidence by Czechs is you have a good position here. You have a striker available. All you need to do is hold this guy and let the striker chop him down. You don't need to do anything crazy. But he wanted to get some striking in too. So he wanted to kick the Spanish guy in the ribs. And as soon as he did it, the Spanish fighter tripped him, tripped his other leg, and takes him down. That was great awareness by the Spanish fighter. He only had one chance, one moment to take the Czech guy down, otherwise he would get chopped to pieces, and he took it, so hats off to him. Now, the Czech striker has to tie him up, and the runner here, the Spanish, or I don't know if he's officially a runner, but he charges him here. And as soon this Spanish fighter sees him charging in, he pushes his guy's head away from himself and offers it to the runner so he can head rip him easily. Immediately pushes the head. And they manage to take him down together. So it's now 3 versus 2 for Spanish. But these are two enormous people on Czech side, so it's nowhere near won by Spanish yet.
Yeah.
And Czech fighter does a good job here, occupying 2 without tying up, risking that he gets pushed over the bodies, and hopes Kubzela here can get a takedown and even it up.
Yeah.
And this striker rotated away, and as Dominic saw it, that's this guy, he wanted to help his body.
Charging.
Wanted to tie up that striker so he doesn't get, so Kuba doesn't get hit in gap or whatever, because his armor, everybody knows that armor, it's almost impenetrable. So you kind of have to hit gaps there.
Yep.
And Dominic doesn't want that to happen, so he rotates away. Makes space, that's good. But he should have pushed the Spanish fighter back further away. Because now there is a very narrow line that he can tie up the striker through, but decides to take it and gets kicked down.
Yeah.
And that's a win for Spanish. So the situations where Czechs lost to their overconfidence was striker didn't check his back, unnecessary kick when you could have your opponent tied up and beaten down, and not taking more space before going for a striker. And you can see Czechs are stronger, but it's the tiny tactical mistakes that can cost you the round, even if you are a better team.
Yeah, and I think to Spain's credit as well, they were able to capitalize on those mistakes. So their awareness, especially the fighter in the corner, the awareness to sweep the standing leg, and then the awareness to create enough space for his runner to capitalize, was great.
That's perfect. Okay, so that was the last fight we were analyzing today. So please let us know if you like this analysis, whatever. If you liked it, if you think we could improve something, please tell us. Of course we can. It's the first time we do it, so there will be mistakes and things to improve, but we would like your feedback, so please give it to us. And now for another segment, there were some rules change recently, so they are not major, but some of them are quite important, to me at least, and one of them is the hold command. I'm just gonna switch us back here. The hold command is really important, in my opinion, in many fights, because sometimes a situation can happen where you have advantage on one side of the field for your team and disadvantage on the other. And the side that you have advantage on gets stopped, but the other one is still going on. And it's a little bit unfair, because the marshals can take their time, they can talk about what happened while your body is getting chopped down by a pole arm. So you don't want that to happen. So the hold command is hugely beneficial to the fairness of the fight, in my opinion, because then when marshal says hold, everything has to stop.
Yeah, so we used the hold command. Previously, it was just in Altrans. It was an Altrans, a pro fight specific command. But at the World Championships, especially in the larger group fights, we were using hold to try and get everybody to stay still so we could count numbers and ensure that, it was right to stop the fight or no, the fight could carry on. And the decision was made to bring it into the Buhurt rules just as a general command. For that reason, in 5 versus 5, we've got enough marshals to manage 10 fighters in the list. But it's easier if there is a helmet's come off, there's a safety issue. We can hold the entire fight across the list and ensure that there isn't someone on that side that's carrying on fighting, running across and creating a more dangerous situation. So the hold command will be a command where when the marshals say hold, you will literally stay where you are, stop fighting, stay where you are, And then once the Knight Marshal's happy that the issue's been dealt with, fighters ready, fight, and everybody continues to fight then at the same time.
Yep.
So you don't have that situation where, like Ireland versus Denmark, where there was an armor failure and they were stopping the fight on that side, but in this bottom corner, the fight was going on. You could use hold in that scenario to go hold, everybody stops. You're in the middle, armor failure, sit down, fighters ready, fight. And everybody can then go again. So yeah, the whole command is a new command that's been added for this season, but it will allow the marshals to hopefully control the entire fight, stop it, make sure everybody stays where they are, and then start the fight more seamlessly. So you don't have that. This could be stopped for 10 seconds and someone's, like you say, getting beaten up for 10 seconds on the other side of the list.
Yeah. I'm all for it. Finally, it's codified in the rules. And I hope it's used all the time, because as the situation I explained, it's really frustrating for me.
Yeah.
And it's not as frustrating when you are the one guy getting beaten down, but when you have to watch your mate, while you have to wait for marshals to discuss the situation. Of course, they have to. That's fine. But it cringes like, let me help him.
Yeah. So that is a good one. It's been obviously added. Like I say, we used it at the World Championships as a trial, especially in the 30 versus 30, where we had, big alliances of different tabards, and we had to kind of go, right, everybody stay where you are to make sure we had the right numbers. And then we said, well, why don't we just make this a command where we can use it to hold the fight, deal with an issue, start the fight, so that there's no breakage and disparity between action. It happens, it stops, it goes.
Yep. Okay. That's, again, great rule change. And obviously there was more, but the one I wanted to talk about next is the point multiplier. Obviously, this doesn't matter to all teams, but those that want to get into the top of the ladder, get invited to invitational, which is us. This matters, and that's point multipliers for different tiers of tournaments, basically. So there are now 3 tiers. One is classic. The point multiplier there is 1. Then regional. The point multiplier is 1.25. And the conference, that's 1.5. So the way I understand this rule change is that the organization wants to make competitive teams go to really big tournaments and maybe go to fewer, but attend the really big ones, than to do like 12 tiny ones.
It's
is that
kind
the
of
reasoning, or
no? So previously it was 1 for classic, which is still the same. It was 1.5 for a regional, and it was a 2 times multiplier for a conference event.
I didn't know there was this multiplier before. Okay, my bad.
So what's happened is this voted change by the national organizations has reduced that multiplier a little bit. So what you don't end up with is a significant disparity between teams that only want to do 1 classic or 2 classic small events and a big Way of Honor or a big conference event. I use Way of Honor because Way of Honor has been the European conference event for the last few years. But it basically, if you go to a conference event and you win it, if you had 10 fights, you'd get, however many points times by 2. You could come away from one tournament with 32 points, or 35 points, and then go to 2 small classic events and still have a big difference over some teams that are only getting to classic or regional. Now, we still want to reward teams for fighting at conference events, which is why the multiplier is the biggest. But the decision or the change is that modifier has been reduced a little bit. 1, to encourage teams to go to other events, because a lot of teams would overlook the smaller events to go to one where they could get double the points. And 2, to try and encourage other teams that are used to going to the smaller events to try and just get a few more points at a conference one.
Okay.
So,
So that's completely the other way than I thought. Yeah. Thank you
yeah.
for clarifying.
Yeah, so previously, like I say, a conference got you double points. So, if you had 5 wins in the group, you got 5 points because you get 1 point for a win in a group. If you won the eliminations, so you did quarterfinal, semi-final, you got 2 points for each of those wins. Then you win the event, you get another 2 for that win. Then you get 6 points for winning plus a double. You got a massive amount of points that could mean that you could kind of coast a little bit on smaller events. And we want people to be attending as many events as they possibly can and supporting the events. So yeah, there was a decision taken by the national organisations at the AGM to reduce that.
Great. Yeah. Good decision. And to be honest, I kind of forgot or ignored the whole ladder thing, and then we found out that we have basically the same amount as Invicta does. So
Mm-hmm.
who's getting invited? We in the end got the wild card, and Invicta
Yeah.
got the direct invite. So luckily that worked out okay for us.
Yeah.
But then we realized, oh damn, we have to pay closer attention to these rules too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
that was what we basically did. Is we obviously attended Way of Honor,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know if there was some other huge tournament, but we go to many smaller Eisenliga tournaments
Mm-hmm.
and to Hungary and Poland, and
Yeah.
it's sometimes like 4 teams, 5 teams there. So that's good that we can still be going there and not lose any points. So
Yeah.
good.
The other thing as well is to remember, we've clarified this, that your season ranking, so as a team, as Mamanci for this season,
Mm-hmm.
is the average of your 3 best results. So if you go to 10 tournaments, it's only your points for the season are the average of your best 3.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is a conference event like a Way of Honor, and then 2 other tournaments where you did really, really well, those points are obviously added together and averaged into a score.
And that wasn't the case last season, or?
No, that is the case. But obviously, last season, Way of Honor as a conference event would have had a 2 times multiplier, whereas this season it'll be a 1.5 for the conference event. So it's just people are aware when you're picking your tournaments to go to. You obviously want a tournament that you're going to that you're going to get as many fights as possible, you're going to get as many points as possible, and that you can do the best in that you possibly can. But ultimately, it's only your 3 best results in the season. So if you did 10 or 15 tournaments, it's only your top 3 point scores that get added together, divided by 3 to give you your season score.
Good. That's fine. And was there any other change you wanted to highlight?
Yeah, so one, we kind of touched on it before when we were talking about spare weapons and people going getting spare weapons or being disarmed. Previously, if you had a belt weapon and you grabbed it, so it was on your belt, but you put your hand on it, you could carry on fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Now the rule has been amended so that you have to have drawn it out of your belt. So it has to be in your hand, ready to hit someone with before you can start punching, kicking, wrestling again, like fighting them back offensively. So yeah, that's a minor change. Last year you could just grab it and it could still be in your belt, but you've got a hand on it and you could fight back. Now you have to physically have it in your hand, drawn, ready to use, whether
Makes
it's
sense.
an axe or it's out, it's ready to use, so you can carry on.
So just to that, little bit related. How is the rule now with holding your axe just by the blade, just under the belt and punching? Can you do that, or?
No, so that rule's still so
Because
for a
I keep
single-handed
seeing
axe.
people do that, and
Yeah.
and am I? Is that allowed now?
No, so the rule is still the same. You're not allowed to hold a single-handed axe within 30. It's actually 30 centimeters, so
That's quite a lot, yeah.
convenient. You can probably just about see that. You're not allowed to do this and punch with it. You have to hold it this far away as an axe to punch with. Now, it only applies to single-handed axes. You don't have with a mace. Yeah, you can hold a mace right at the end and use it. That's fine. But yeah, that rule is still in effect. So you can't do this and punch with it. You have to hold it, far enough away and punch with it.
Yep, makes sense. Thanks for clarifying that. And So that unsheathing and anything else?
I mean, it's not Buhurt related; it's Jules related. But
Yeah, I don't want to talk just about Jules. So
yeah, for
every
sure.
time.
So the big one, the big change in terms of a rule that's been added is you're not allowed to trap your opponent's weapon, whether you're trapping it with the shield, or whether you're trapping it under your arm, or trapping it with your hand. So a lot of people will have seen that happens. You know, you've got a sword and shield duel. Someone swings, the blade gets chicken winged under the person's arm, and they're fighting to get the sword out, and the other person's scoring points. You're not allowed to do that anymore in duels. So
and in outrans you can.
In outrans, absolutely fine. You're allowed to trap, but in duels, where we're obviously the aim is to score points, that rule's been added because of the amount of feedback that we got from the community on not liking that as an option. They don't like the fact that it can get trapped. We got that feedback. We put it to the national organizations and they voted to bring this rule in. So that means now we should see duels that are more about fencing skill and defensive skill to score points than somebody getting the blade trapped quickly and scoring as many as they possibly can. So yeah, that's a big one on the duel side. So it'll make duels hopefully more fluid. And then a big one on the outrun side. So pro fights, the ground time now, regardless of whether it's tier 1 or tier 2, has been made 30 seconds. So previously last year and the year before, it was unlimited in tier 1. If you were at the World Championships this last year, if you went to the ground, the fight could carry on as long as the fight was active. Unlimited. Now that's been changed to 30 seconds. So if the fight goes to the ground, the timer starts obviously with the secretary, 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, both fighters will get stood back to their feet and start again.
And if, like, when does it reset? When both stand up or like?
So in that 30 seconds is entire ground time. So if you take me down, we both go down, I'm on the ground, we're in a grounded position, the timer starts, it's 30 seconds. If you stand up and I'm still on the ground, that time is still going. Still 30 seconds because I'm still grounded. If I manage to stand back up, you know, you stand up and you let me get up, or I manage to get up, that timer would stop because we're not grounded anymore. Because we're back on our feet.
Makes sense.
So the fight can carry on for still 30 seconds. You know, if you've got the takedown, you've got chance to try and get a position where you can TKO and win the fight by TKO on the ground. If not, stop, back to your feet, start on your feet again. So it's gone from being unlimited, where someone could keep you on the ground for the entire round, to just 30 seconds. And again, community feedback. A lot of people didn't like the unlimited ground time. We brought in limited ground time for tier 2, which is lesser experienced, you know, and people still wanted to see a change in that. So we listened to that. We put it to obviously the NOs and they voted for 30 seconds.
And a lot of people I noticed didn't even know that it was unlimited for some time. Everybody was still under impression that it's 10 seconds. Or not everybody, but a lot of people.
So. Yeah, some people, we can't make people read the rules.
As I said with the horse.
Yeah, exactly. So from that point of view, that's a big change in the pro fight side, just the ground fighting. Outside of that, everything else are just small clarifications and small changes. So there's not been any real big updates, but it's still worth people obviously having a look at the rules, making sure they understand them going into this season, and then go from there.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's end the segment about rules and go with the upcoming tournaments that we want to highlight, or we are going to, or we will be analyzing. So obviously there will be Carnage. I don't know if we will be doing one podcast before that, or we will wait for Carnage. We will discuss that later. But obviously I want to break down Carnage because it's the biggest and beautiful tournament in USA with really great teams. Just one thing I just figured out I wanted to ask you about is, what do you think about the tiers? They have it in USA, and in Australia, I don't know if in UK, I don't think so, but some teams are split to tier 1, then to the tier 2, and they don't meet each other on the tournament. And I'm not sure if I like that.
I guess it depends on the size of the tournament. So I've been to Carnage for the last 2 years. I went last year just as a marshal because I was injured, but the Northern Wolves, we fought in Tier 1 in 2024, so we were in the top 10 teams of Tier 1.
Right.
It's good if you're able to kind of see a clear difference in skill levels. If it's done on BI ranking, i.e. points, season, it's easy to justify because you can say, well, that team last year were top of the North American League, so they're in Tier 1. Top 10. Skill-wise, when we went and fought in Tier 1 over at Carnage, pretty good even matchups. The fights that we lost, they were very close fights. The fights that we won were very close fights. And it worked pretty well. Same in the Tier 2. I think this year they were potentially even looking at having a Tier 3 because of the amount of teams that they were going to have.
Right.
They've got something, I think on the men's side, they might be looking at like 50 men's teams.
That's a lot, yeah.
For 5v5. So it is good. We in the UK last year did have some Tier 2 events. Now, we don't have as many teams in the UK. We've got probably, obviously, White Company, Invicta, we've got the Northern Wolves and Iska and other clubs. But those clubs have more than one team in them,
Right.
Just like you have your Prague Trolls and you had your Prague Dwarves.
Yep.
2 teams from one club. In the UK, we try to use the Tier 2 to bring in the newer fighters from those clubs in their teams to make the experience level a little bit more even. And obviously France have a League 1 and a League 2, and they've been operating a League 1 and a League 2 for a long time. So I think it's a good thing if you've got enough teams and enough depth of experience to separate them evenly. But if you don't, you're going to have to just put everybody together.
Of course, but even then, what my reservation about that is that when we started with the sport, back like when I started, I think 13 years ago, obviously we were trash. Like there was no better way to say that, or at least I was. But every time I met a team that was leagues above, I learned a lot from that fight.
Yeah.
And my reservation about that is that you are taking away that chance for the new fighters or lower skilled fighters to make that big leap by meeting like Dominus in the fight. If they don't get wiped out in 30 seconds, obviously. But whenever we met Russians or Ukrainians, it was like revelation because we had option to or chance to meet them like once or twice per year max, and if then that would be taken away from me by the virtue of being in different tier, that would suck for me in my opinion. And another thing is that in Australia during the last nationals, I think I watched, and then there was tier 1 and tier 2, and in tier 2 was a team Burley Griffins, and they are great team. Like they took gold in the tier 2 obviously, but I think they could have aimed for a medal in tier 1, not win it maybe, but go for a medal. And I don't know if like that, then the whole point of having tiers is nullified, like why would you do that then? And I think nationals were after another tournament called Winterfest. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, Australians. Don't stone me to death with your comments. Do comment though. But they took down some tier 1 teams in that tournament already. So what were they doing in tier 2 on a couple of months later in nationals? That doesn't make sense to me. So do it. It's your choice, but
Yeah.
make it logical, or have some
Yeah.
set rules that make sense.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's up to the event organizer if they want to run a standard event with no tiers where it's just everybody fights everybody, however you progress, or whether they have enough to go tier 1 and tier 2. The decision on how you get your tier 1 and your tier 2 split is quite subjective, really. It's down to how you perceive those teams, unless you're using, like I say, a metric like season ranking from BI. You can look at a team and go, well, they performed really, really well last year, so they should be in the tier 1 element, because then, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but year is such a long time in World of Buhurt,
Yeah.
because sometimes because of your age or your injuries, you have
Hmm.
you have like 4 years career, and you
Yeah.
want to make the most out of it. So, and another thing, like in relation to my team, Mamanci, or current team, I was in Prague. Well, I don't think they would like me saying that I was in Prague Trolls, but I was part of that club,
Hmm.
fighting with Prague Trolls on many occasions.
Hmm.
And then I moved to Mamanci. And Mamanci is like 3 or 4 year old team.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, because there was this no tier 2 to be had, because we wouldn't be able to do it because of the number of the teams we have. But if there was this chance, they would be in tier 2, and they wouldn't have this skyrocket rise to
Hmm.
where we are now,
Yeah.
beating Prague Trolls pretty decisively during the eliminations,
Hmm.
and it would take much longer, in my opinion. So,
Hmm.
like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just
Yeah.
giving another opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree, and this is the thing. I think it only really comes into its own for events that are big enough to warrant having a split of a tier 1 and a tier 2. Most events won't. Most events will be, you could have your team that's brand new and White Company, or your 1-year-old team and Mamanci. So it only really tends to happen at some of the bigger events. Carnage is the exception.
Mm.
Like I say, last year when we went, I think there were 44 or 45 men's teams. When we went and fought there the year before, we were in tier 1, so there were 10 teams in that, and then there was still like another 30 teams in tier 2. They get a lot of attendance from a lot of teams.
And
So
then you
I
run
can,
into time restrictions also.
yeah, exactly. And then, we're only talking there about the men's as well. Bearing in mind, Carnage also has one of the biggest attendances for women's teams in kind of North America as well. There are a lot of fights and a lot of fights to get through. So it probably helps with the organizational side to split the teams to be able to organize the brackets. But you don't see it that often. You'll only see it at a few events. If there's 100 events a year, you might see it at 5.
Hmm. Right. Yeah. So that's I sidewind a little bit there and took up a lot of time with that. So just quick fire now. We will be analyzing Carnage. Not sure if the very next one, but eventually for sure.
Hmm.
And I wanted to call on teams to register to tournaments Slavoj Toringi Cup from Eisenliga in Germany. It's
Hmm.
at the best spot you can have in Germany, honestly, because they have it in Bratwurst Museum. You cannot have more German spot to have a tournament. I love it. It's like they have a cannon in a shape of a bratwurst.
Yeah.
They have paintings of bratwurst everywhere, and every detail is a bratwurst. It's great. And then in Czech Republic in May there will be a tournament, Gabretta Combat Cup, whatever. Just search for Gabretta,
Hmm.
and we would really love to have anyone who can come there, because everybody keeps telling us, hey Czechs, you don't host any tournaments, we keep hosting for you and you keep beating us, and we cannot come to your place. So it's your chance. Do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, anything you wanted to invite people to or highlight?
Yeah. So selfishly, I run an event called the Castleton Cup in the UK. That's happening in April. It's the 6th year that we've ran that. So any teams that have been before, you're obviously aware of what it's like. But if there are international teams that want to come, please feel free to obviously sign up and reach out. And then we're also having a regional event in the UK called the Leodis Cup in May. Yeah, May, which is a regional event. So again, that will have tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 on Saturday, tier 2. But selfishly, again, if there are international teams that are interested, please reach out to us or reach out to BI and get yourself signed up for that.
Great. And then again, call for Q&A.
Yep.
Give us your questions. Give us your suggestions that we could discuss or that could be our next topic. And give us any feedback you have for the podcast, what we could improve. If the audio and video was all right, if, I don't know, the fights were too small and it's video for ants or whatever. So, yeah. Anything else?
No, just thank you very much for watching. Obviously, give us your feedback and hopefully you'll tune in again to future episodes.
Great. Thanks a lot for joining me, Danny. Appreciate
No worries.
it.